What's up guys, I'm Sunny. Welcome back to another Injustice 2 Showcase Series video. In this video series we check out all the epic gear sets, we look at all the individual epic pieces, and then I'll go into practice mode and do a demonstration of all the abilities. If you do enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that like button. Really appreciate all the support. Only have a couple of the Showcase Series videos left. I know as far as DLC 2 goes, I'm still missing quite a few of those characters, but the rest of them, I think I only have like 2, maybe 3 more to go. So if you're looking for a specific character, you know, just check back in some of the videos before this, or just ask me in the comments and I will send you the link. But as you see, we're gonna look at Dr. Fate today. Of course, I have listed my Twitch and my Twitter in the description below, so if you're interested on staying up to date on either one of those streams or Twitter, just follow. Anyways, let's get into looking at Dr. Fate. The first loadout, like always, I try to make a loadout that is not part of an epic gear set, just to give you more variety, kind of see what else you can do with Dr. Fate. Dr. Fate's, all of his helmets, I think, are crazy looking. They are a lot different, all from each other. They did not do any work on the cape whatsoever in this game. I think he only has 2 capes that even look remotely different. Chest piece, his amulet, you know, legs, all this stuff. I tried to make it different than all the other epic loadouts. This is Pandora's Vision alternate. Got the green, I guess, green colored shader on there. But let's get checking out his first epic gear set. His first one is called Vestments of Fate. It includes his headpiece and his amulet. Got one of the new shaders. Force of Law is what it's called. Like an olive green reddish color. Includes headpiece, which is I really like this headpiece. I think this headpiece looks really cool. And then his amulet, which got that little I don't know, I guess like owl type of claw wings thing that goes up there. All of his inks glow up on his knees. The rest of the pieces are just random epic pieces. Like I said, try to make each of the loadouts look just a little bit different. But let's check out the bonuses. 2 out of 2 Orbs of Destruction. Dr. Fate Seeking Displacement Orb can increase in size by an additional 50% when fully charged. Additional 50% is quite a bit bigger, but especially if you got like those Seeking Displacement Orbs where it just follows you around. If you make it bigger, man, that can be even a bigger pain in the butt to try to avoid. But that is his 2-piece. Good looking set. I really like that one. Next set, 3-piece set, Paraphernalia of Raw Head, Torso, and his arms. Got the other Force of Law alternate shader on there. This is one of the very few characters in which I have actually got one of the new shaders unlocked, both of them. Most of them I don't have, never get them in boxes or anything like that, but took off all of the glowing inks on this particular gear set, just to give you something just a little bit different. Headpiece has all those little wings on the side. You can see his eyes still. Got the big old blade in the center. Chest piece, just have the glowing one ink in the center for that one. Got the layered little shoulder pads, and of course his little thing in the front there around his waist, his little apron, I guess you want to call it. But let's check out his bonuses. 2 out of 3 bonus, gain an additional 100% ability, 100 ability. And then 3 out of 3 Dr. Fate's ink traps have their effects increased by 25%. I don't play Dr. Fate enough to even know exactly how much 25% is really going to do, but still, it is something that you can use in player matches, so that is very nice. I like all of Dr. Fate's stuff. I think it looks really cool. I wish they would have done something better with his capes though. None of those look any good. Just plain reminds me a lot of Superman's, like they copied the cape and just threw it on Dr. Fate. But anyway, I love his headpieces the best. I think those are probably the coolest. And then moving on to his 4-piece set. It is called the Armor of Inza, Torso, or Head, Torso, Arms, and the Amulet. Got the old school Dr. Chaos shader on there. I love this shader. Probably his best shader, I think. Even though I didn't put it on the 5-piece, I just love the other shader that I got on that one. But this is probably my favorite. I just like it, man. This old school Dr. Fate yellow, teal, blue. I mean, it just looks good. It's a good looking shader. And then his actual gear set, everything except for his boots. Again, I really like the headpiece. Headpieces for Dr. Fate are super cool. This time he has not only the wings around his ears, but like some extra for his eyebrows, and then where like his goatee would be, he got some little extra stuff there, and then of course the blade right on the top of his head. Chest piece looks cool too. Got all that extra detail that goes down there. Arm pieces look similar to the last gear set, the layered type of thing with nothing except for his forearms and stuff, but his amulet has that big owl on the front. Let's see, Inza's emblem, got the owl. Like the owl, I think it's cool. Inza, I think is his wife, maybe. I really don't know. Honestly, I probably should have looked. But anyway, let's move on to. Wait, we didn't check out his bonuses, so let's look at the bonuses. 1 out of 4 bonus ability, gain 125 ability power. 3 out of 4 overpowered, inflict 30% extra block damage to superpowered opponents. And then 4 out of 4 hieroglyphic bond. The Sheridan's lock or Naboo's lock duration is increased by 100%. I know the one is where they lock all of the interactables, where you can't do the interactables, and then the other is when you can't do special abilities. So extra 100% where you can't use that for 100, twice the amount of time. That is super cool in player matches. I think that would actually come in handy quite a bit. So moving on to his 5-piece now, which is his favorite set of mine. Have the Prophet of Order alternate. It's the red shader called the Finery of Order. This is his only headpiece that I've seen at least part of the epic gear sets in which his eyes are covered. Like all the other gear sets, you can see, his glowing eyes. In this particular headpiece, you cannot see his eyes. Got the little inks on the shoulder pads, on his shoulders, his kneecaps, but all the other pieces I think look really good. The chest piece looks similar to his 4-piece, but I like his little arms, I like his legs. His headpiece looks really cool. And then the shader, I love the red shader with it. Like I said, Prophet of Order alternate red looks really good. I think he's got some great looking gear. But we'll check out the bonuses now. 2 out of 5 bonus ability, gain 200 ability. And then 4 out of 5, 3% chance that when special moves are cast, Dr. Fate regenerates 50% health. Now, of course, it's only 3% chance, but that's really cool that if you do a special move, that it's possible to get 50% of your health back. I mean, you start, you could do 15, 20 special moves in one match easy. And so, I don't know, maybe you get lucky, get that 50% back. That would be awesome. And then 5 out of 5 impossible feats. All Dr. Fate meter burns have a 5% chance to not require any meter. 5% chance is pretty slim for meter burn ones, but anyway, still good. Still everything you can use in player matches. Definitely something that comes in handy. But now that we got all of the epic gear sets, now we are going to look at all the individual epic pieces. Alright, first up we have his headpieces, and like I said before, I think his headpieces look really cool. He has quite a few different looking headpieces. All of them, I think all of them look pretty good. Some of them probably are better than others. Like I really like the one like this one that has his eyes covered. But then the Enza one looks good too. They all look good. I think they all can go with just about any epic pieces that you put together. I love how different they are. I love the different designs and everything like that. But those are his head pieces. Moving on to his chest pieces now. Chest pieces, again, we find some that have a little more armor than others. Some of them just change like around his waist, his little belt. Some of them give him like those little, like this one, give him little hip pads and things like that. Some of them give him this little apron. And then on the top chest piece, he doesn't really have much of the armor. But all of them, again, are different. I like how it gives you different varieties and everything like that. Especially when it comes to gear sets. You know, you want to have something that's different. Put together something that you want to actually play with. But arm pieces now. Changes up the shoulder pads, got the triple layers on there, changes up his little forearm guards. Some of them has those little, it's really hard to see on his forearm. Can't zoom in anymore, but he does have, I guess, little symbols on there, and then I guess his glowing ink symbols on there as well on his shoulder pads. Only a few different shoulder pads and a few different arm pieces. But they are, I guess, like little variations of each other, which is nice. I mean, it still gives you something. I really like these, even though they're not part of a gear set for some reason. I really kind of like how, I don't know, I guess different these are with those little things on the bottom of the shoulder pad. Anyway, those are all of the arm pieces. Now we got the leg pieces, and just like the arms, you know, different kind of boots, different kind of shin guards, and then his little kneecap guards with the anks on there. Nothing too flashy, nothing too crazy when it comes to Dr. Fate's arms or legs, but it still does give you some variety. I like how they have, like on this piece right here, it has like those hieroglyphic type symbols on there. Kind of a little hard to see because you can't zoom in any further, but if you look, I mean, it has all those different like hieroglyphics on there, which is really cool. I really dig that. And then last one, just some shin guards and then different looking boots. All of his shoes, I guess his boots under his shin guards, I mean, all of the boots are exactly the same. The boots never change once. It's just the things that go over his boots, which is unfortunate. They should at least switch up some boots, you know. Now moving on to the amulet, and then amulet, of course, is just the centerpiece, and you got I guess different centerpieces, like the emblem in the center, and then the thing behind the emblem changes as well. And so sometimes you have that raw symbol, sometimes you've got Horus and Enza and all of the different types of squares and inks, and there's an eyeball and there's an owl, and I think that's an owl anyway. I don't know. But anyway, that is going to do it for all of Dr. Fate's individual epic pieces. Now we're going to jump into practice mode and do a demonstration of his abilities. Alright, so first up we got Instant Judgment. Performing the Spell of Judgment summons all 3 Anks instantly, but they lose their bonus property granted from striking an opponent with all 3 at once. So this one, before you would have to, I guess, summon the Anks one at a time, but now you can just do it once and then all of them appear, and then you could just let them all go. And so it does have, I guess, the disadvantage that it takes, I guess, those abilities away. Or the special bonuses that you get when you use them, but you can get all 3 of them at one time. So at least that's something. I really don't know which way I think would be better. I think getting them one at a time would probably be better. But it is useful, I guess, to have them all at one time anytime you want to get them. Dark Ink. Dr. Fate's Ink traps now explode on contact, immediately imparting their healing or damage effects. So with this one, we have to have our character power trait active. So once we pop trait, we can use our Dark Ink, and when the opponent runs into it, it just looks like that. When the opponent runs into it, then your opponent takes damage. So you can do it regular, which is, at least for this particular character, you know, about, whoops, pop trait real quick, 220 damage with the meter burn, and the regular's about 150. So I think it's definitely cool that, you know, it does allow you to do something where you can get damage. And then, of course, as regular Anks, you know, we get some extra health if we go through them. But I really like this one, you know, especially to put something there in the middle of the screen in case they hit it, you know, like just put a bunch of them in the way. And if it's somebody that doesn't have, you know, some range, I don't know, I think it can definitely come in handy, especially if your opponent jumps around a lot, maybe playing somebody that likes to go back and forth, put a bunch of them in the way, gives you some openings. Anyway, Air Amon-Ra Blast. Amon-Ra's blast can now be performed while airborne. So here we have his regular Amon-Ra blast, and now I guess the only difference with this one is, you know, you can use it in the air. And just like the one on the ground, we can meter burn it. He does the exact same animation as he does on the ground. Just gives you a more versatile way to attack. I definitely think versatility is important when it comes to this game, especially to cause mix-ups, switch up what you're doing against the opponent. But that's what that one is. Absorption Spell, the Ankh from the Glyph of Osiris can now absorb projectiles. Dr. Fates will gain health and super meter after absorbing projectiles. So as you saw from right there, the absorption spell just absorbs the projectile. It took me a quick minute to, I don't know, I guess time it right, I guess, especially when I was doing it against Darkseid. It definitely is difficult to time it exactly perfect in order to do it. But once you do it, you know, just absorbs the projectile. I mean, nothing really else to say to it. I do like this particular one, the absorption spell. This is one of my, I guess, favorite moves to use with Dr. Fate. But I really like a lot of his movesets anyway. But for this particular one, you know, just being able to absorb the projectiles, being able to get some health back and things like that, I think that's really cool. Powerless, Dr. Fate casts a spell on his opponent, preventing them from using super meter. Now this one I think is absolutely awesome. You do your little down type of move. I don't like at least that input, but you see how around his head it just glows. It only lasts, you know, like 5-6 seconds maybe, but during this time period he cannot use any of his meter. I think that is awesome. In the middle of your combos, before and after you do any of your combos, you know, if you do something, then I would just put that on there right before you do it, right after you do it. I mean, if you can get into the habit of doing that every time, I think that could definitely come in handy. I think this is a really good one. Air Dash allows Dr. Fate to dash while in the air. Here we got Dr. Fate's, you know, exactly what it sounds like, his air dash. The animation that he goes from forward to backward is the same as, I guess, when he's in the air doing his air dash. It's always cool when you're playing as a character that has an air dash, because that gives you so much more mobility to be able to do things that you normally cannot do, especially when it comes to mix-ups and stuff. So Dr. Fate having an air dash is really awesome. And the last one, Seeking Displacement Orb. Dr. Fate conjures a Displacement Orb that follows his opponent's movements. Seeking Displacement Orb, this move actually has quite a bit of versatility to it. We have the regular Displacement Orb where it just follows him. Very slow tracking orb. And then if you hold it down, he does his little magical powers, makes it bigger. And also, if you hold it down, or you can do it regular, but you can meter burn it and it'll just sit there in place. I think with this particular move is definitely more versatile, being able to do stuff with it. And so as you see, you know, it moves up and down just depending on what your opponent is doing. Goes back and forth, it'll track them. Or if you want to, you just hold it there in case he tries to jump over you or get close to you. It definitely gives you a lot more versatility to be able to use it like that. But that is going to do it for Dr. Fate, all of his epic gear sets, epic gear, and abilities. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that like button and also follow Twitch and Twitter. I will check you out in the next video. I am out. Peace.